valid votes 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 40. I am putting it to you.
My Lord, can you come again?
I am putting it to you that when Ayenswanu results that I have just shown you, that if you take the difference that you got from the first sheet from what they had written, you get 4189, and that 4189 on your own spreadsheet exhibit E, it is spread across all the candidates. The only person who didn't get a gain was Hassan Ayarika. I'm saying that if you put it together, the gains that each candidate made in Ayenswanu, the total will now come to 1, 2, 3, 6, 940. And I'm putting that to you.
Yes, my Lord.
Good. Now, therefore, I am further putting it to you that the Eastern region sheet had no problem, for which you ought to have written to the first respondent.
I deny that, my Lord.
Now, I am further putting it to you that the 3 remaining constituencies that your agents, the 3 remaining regions that your agents did not sign, the petitioner won those regions.
My Lord, if the figures are in contention, we are not able to determine who won.
Now, those regions are Western North, Northern, and Greater Accra. I'm putting it to you that the candidate won at those regions when the coalition was done. That's the petitioner.
My Lord, I repeat that if the figures are in contention, it is difficult to determine who won.
Now, are you therefore saying that with respect to Greater Accra, you do not know that the petitioner won the election?
My Lord, you claim my agents did not sign, which means that it's part of our case that the figures are in contention.
You see, I am putting it to you.
And in the presidential elections, regions are not won.
Yes, my Lord. Well, my Lord. Well, my Lord.
In the presidential elections, regions are not won. There is one presidential elections and one returning officer who declares the winner at the national level. No other declaration of the presidential elections take place anywhere else.
Right. Well, I am putting it to you that for the record, Western North was won by the petitioner, and the Western North form, although not signed by your representative, it was certified by Mr. Rojo Metonunu in the strong room.
My Lord, the agents in the strong room will mount the witness box, and they will be able to testify whether they signed or did not sign.
Do you still stand by your petition in this court? The petition that you filed, do you still stand by all the averments in it?
Yes, my Lord.
Now, let's look at paragraph 12 of your petition. Sorry, the petition of the petitioner, sorry. Paragraph 12 of the petition of the petitioner. Kindly read paragraph 12 to the court.
Paragraph 12. ready.
Paragraph 12 of the amended petition, sorry, my lords. Have you seen it?
Yes, my lord.
Kindly read it to the court.
If the total number of valid votes standing to the names of each of the presidential candidates is summed up, this will yield a total number of valid votes cast of 13,121, 13,121,101. A figure that is completely missing from the purported declaration. 111. A figure that is completely missing from the purported declaration by Mrs. Jean Adukwe-Mensah on 9th December 2020, and the purported ratification on 10th December 2020.
Now, I am putting it to you that the figure in the paragraph 12 of the petitioner's petition shows clearly that the number mentioned by the first respondent as the valid votes, total valid votes, was an error, which you have admitted in your petition.
Can I hear the question again, please?
I am putting it to you that as at the time you filed this petition, you knew that the figure 13,121,111 was the correct total valid votes that ought to have been announced on the 9th, as you have said in your petition. I'm putting it to you.
My lord, these are figures we computed from the first respondent's own data that was supplied. These are not our figures.
Well, you are bound by your petition, so let's go on. At the point that the declaration was going to be done, you have stated that your agents, Mr. Metununu and Dr. Pesa White, left the strong room. Is that correct?
That's correct, my lord.
I am putting it to you that they left the strong room because they realized that the petitioner had lost the election.
My lord, I can't attest or deny that one, and these are matters in the personal knowledge of the agents who will be mounting the witness box subsequently.
And they left the strong room because they didn't want to sign the Form 13.
I can't attest to that.
And I'm putting it to you that the total valid votes as at the 9th of December 2020 and captured on Form 13 is just the same as the total valid votes in the form in paragraph 12 of the petition.
My lord, we don't know which is the total valid votes as we stand here, because the first respondent has turned out several different figures. So our case is that Ghana does not know the results of the presidential elections as we sit here now, because the petitioner who has the constitutional duty to conduct the elections has not, the first respondent who has the constitutional duty to conduct the elections and report an exact figures has failed in that duty. So we are confronted with several figures, and it depends on what you want to believe.
Are you saying that you do not believe in the figure that you wrote in your petition?
My lord, I stated that we picked these figures from the respondent's own calculations, not ours. We haven't supplied.
And I am putting it to you that if your representatives had not left the strong room, they would have seen that those figures, 13, 121, 111, was the total valid votes as captured on Form 13.
My Lord, I can't respond on behalf of the agents. I have indicated that one of them will be in the witness box to testify.
I am further putting it to you that 8 out of the 12 presidential candidates stayed back and signed on the Form 13.
My Lord, I have indicated that the processes within that National Collation Center are not within my personal knowledge, and so I cannot answer, I cannot admit or deny.
Now, at the time the petitioner filed this petition, he knew the results from the Teaching and South constituency, not so?
My Lord, I'm not the petitioner.
Okay, we'll leave it.
Now, let me refer you to your form, your Exhibit E. Look under Bunu East. Bunu East.
Yeah.
Do you see the valid votes that the petitioner obtained?
As per the computation of the first respondent, yes. Because these are not our figures, they are figures from the first respondent.
Right. You also agree with me that the petitioner never obtained all the 128,000 registered voters' votes from the Techiman South constituency as you purport to show in your evidence. I'm putting it to you.
My Lord, there's nowhere in the evidence that you propose to say that the petitioner got all. Respectfully, there's nowhere in the evidence where the witness says that the petitioner got all the registered votes in Techiman. There's nowhere in the evidence to that effect. And I think this is just to kind of mislead the witness.
Amenuvor. Yes, my lords. My lords, I am not, with the greatest respect, misleading the witness. Lords, as at the date that the witness filed his witness statement on he signed his witness statement on the 27th of January 2021, he, in paragraph 12, sought to make analogies with the Techiman South total number of registered voters. And that is why I am asking him genuine questions based on his own documents that he has brought before the court.
My objection is very simple. He's made a specific statement that the petitioner, the petition says that all votes in Techiman South were won by the petitioner. There's no way. This talk about by analogy and so on. Let him point to where in the witness statement.
Mr. Amenuvor, please.
Yes.
Reframe the question.
Now, yes, my lord.
He raised an objection. What is your response to that? Or are you framing that?
Lords, I'll rephrase the question.
Okay.
Right.
And then tell me that.
Now, as at the time you filed this petition, I am suggesting, as at the time you filed your witness statement, I am suggesting to you that you could not include paragraph 12 because the total valid votes that the petitioner had obtained were known. I'm putting it to you. In the Techiman South constituency, they were known.
As at the time
You were
of filing the witness statement?
yes,
Yes.
they were known.
Yes.
Good. I'm further putting it to you, therefore, that
As at the time they filed.
as at the time that the petitioner filed the petition, all the total valid votes in Techiman South were known.
On behalf of the petitioner.
So I am putting it to you.
Yes.
That using all the total valid votes in the Techiman South constituency, that's registered voters in the Techiman South constituency, to do your analysis is incorrect. I am putting that to you.
My Lord, the analysis was based on what the first respondent herself claimed. So all the information there, all the figures that were stated there were from the first respondent's own account when they were declaring the results. And if I may proceed, the first respondent claimed that even though they have not had the results of Techiman South, they feel secure to proceed because even if all the votes of Techiman South were to be added to the petitioner's tally, it will not change the outcome.
Yes.
So the analysis we did there was to show that based on the figures she herself declared, that statement could not be correct.
I am putting it to you that the first responders chairperson was right, because as at the time she was making the declaration, you knew that the total valid votes in the elections was 13,121,111. I'm putting it to you.
My Lord, I don't understand the question. That I knew, or the chairperson who was doing the declaration knew. Because I didn't do declaration.
You, as the witness in this box, you knew about that. I'm putting it to you.
That when the first respondent was making the declaration on the 9th, that I knew that the total figures, total of the votes was 13,121,111.
Yes, because you stated so, the petitioner stated so in his petition, that ought to be the correct number, and the first respondent in her answer agreed with you. So I'm putting it to you that you knew.
My Lord, you see,
the question.
I don't understand why you seem to be confusing me with the petitioner. because I don't understand.
You see, that's why we have to strike out some of the evidence, because you can't speak to them. And so that's the basis upon which we have to strike out some of the evidence. we are confirming our position.
Oh.
Well, I'm still waiting for the answer.
I'm saying that I cannot answer for the petitioner. You're asking me questions that ought to be asked to the petitioner, and I'm saying that I'm not.
So,
I took these figures from the respondent's declaration.
now,
And before they were declared, I couldn't have known what he was declaring.
now, can you read paragraph 13 of your witness statement to this court?
My Lord, paragraph 13 of my witness statement. When the percentages of valid votes cast and standing to the names of each of the presidential candidates. Oh, my witness statement, okay. Witness statement. Have you taken? You've taken the witness statement.
It's over there. Let me show you. Drink of
It's here. Paragraph 13. Yeah, paragraph 13. The Techima and South constituency has a total registered voter population of 128,018. And if added to the total valid votes announced by Mrs. Jane Adukwe-Mensah as cast, which is 13,434,574, the resultant figure would now be 13,562,592. Consequently, if all the votes of Techima South constituency were added to petitioner's votes, second respondent's vote will remain the same at 6,730,413, now yielding 49.625%, while the votes of petitioner were 6,342,907, now yielding 46.768%.
That you knew the results from the Techima South, and therefore this analysis of yours is incorrect.
My Lord, I beg your permission to quote paragraph 12 of my statement. That will explain the meaning.
Please
of
answer the question and then you can explain.
Again.
Answer the question. I'm saying that at the time you were making this statement,
Yeah.
you knew the exact results of the Techima South constituency, and therefore the analysis that you had made was wrongful. Answer the question, yes or no. If you want to explain, you explain.
The analysis was right because it was based on a statement made by the first respondent at a certain point in time. So if you are analyzing that statement at that point, I don't see how you bring in the current situation to be able to answer that statement.
I suggest to you that you are wrong because the current situation is the reality. The court deals with reality, not conjecture. I'm suggesting that to you.
My Lord, the current situation cannot be the reality because nobody knows the results of the presidential elections in 2020. Nobody knows in exactitude how many votes each of the candidates got and what percentage each of the candidates got. And the first petitioner, the first respondent, in her own words, and my Lord, I beg to quote in my own statement, currently, the election results we have declared exclude that of Techimai South constituency, with a voter population of 128,018. The third election results are not ready because they are being contested. Even if we were to add the 128,018 full results to the results of the second candidate, it would not change the outcome of the election. Hence our declaration of the 2020 presidential results without that of Techimai. The respondent was justifying why she had to declare results based on uncompleted tally. And you are questioning that statement, that statement could not have been correct as at the time it was being made.
I am putting it to you that as at the time the first respondent's chairperson made that statement, the statement was correct and it is captured in paragraph 12 of the petitioner's petition.
I decline that.
Very well. Now, what was the source from which you obtained information to draw up your Exhibit E for this honorable court?
My Lord, Exhibit E was based on the first respondent's own data.
But you have gracefully brought it to the attention of the court. You want to rely on it. Is that not so?
Yes, we want to rely on it to the extent that we want to prove a case against the first respondent.
No.
I'm comfortable, I'm a teacher, my Lord.
Now, my lords, in Exhibit E, there are votes assigned to the petitioner and the second respondent and all the other presidential candidates. Is that not so? That's on the last page of Exhibit E.
By the first respondent, yes.
Now, what we have here is 677-6066 for the second respondent. Is that correct?
From where, please?
That's the total,
Yeah, the
total valid votes.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
6,776,066.
That's what is on it. Is that correct?
I don't know. Yes, it's in this statement.
Yes.
Yes.
And then also for the petitioner, we have 6,265,276. Is that correct?
According to these documents submitted by the first respondent.
Now, it is your document we are looking at, please. Now, look below the figures we have just gone through. For the second respondent, there's a percentage of 5.126. It is down there. That's 51.126. Sorry, 51.261. The way they have rendered it, that's why. 51.
0.51.
Yes.